Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island All-Stars UK Season 1, episodes 27 through to 32, Chris, and we're almost there. We're almost at the finish line, just got a couple of episodes left. Where would you like to start today?
Well, more than anything, Dave, I want to thank you for coming along on this journey. I know we've not been doing a daily podcast. We just cannot do it logistically. We can't. And for our sanity as well, even though we're watching along. So we're at the end of this show. It's been an interesting thing. I mean, obviously, we've got 2 episodes to go. And before we get into the show itself, I've actually really enjoyed it, Dave. I've actually enjoyed this more. One than I thought I would. Certainly better than the Winter Love Island. But I actually think, even though we know these people are playing the game and they're desperate, I've almost liked that desperation in these people where they're just like, because they've been there, they know it's that last hurrah to stay within the Love Island franchise. I think he's brought some good moments within the show and some good desperation bits that I love calling out anyway. I mean, what do you think of it all?
I think it has been good. I mean, I think I have enjoyed the season. It has been a bit different. It's definitely Desperado Mark II, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
People don't know exactly what they're coming into. They've got an idea, whereas these are veterans. They know, you know, they've done the initial season. They've got the career afterwards as well. They're trying to squeeze the pips out of that Z-list status, and now they're trying to, you know, reboot that. They're trying to get back into the public eye, you know, boost their followers a bit more. Mitch will be doing his fucking round on the Ibiza nightclub circuit, signing autographs and stuff. You know, so I have, or the irritation has ramped up a fair bit, but then the kind of love for it as well. It's always that swing, isn't it? You know, being irritated by it, and then like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. So yeah, I think. I can't. Which season was it? Where was it? Last year's Winter Love Island, which was just so dull. It was so boring.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was the Olivia season, wasn't it? You know, I'm very pleased she didn't turn up on this. I must admit, I thought she would do, but yeah. So it has been a good season, to be fair. Not sure I need it every year, but as being something a little bit different from, you know, the regular kind of Love Island season. And it is that desperation status. That's the thing that's made it different. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for love. And it's, you know, the kind of 0.1% that we believe from the OG type contestants. You just can't believe it here, can you? You know, especially if you've got like Georgia S and Tobes.
Fuck off.
You know, it's like, oh, fuck off. There's no way, you know, but you know, I could kind of, you just laugh at it and you're looking at, you know, there's the game behind the game, isn't there? There's the strategy to it as well, which I find interesting. So yeah, it's been good going through.
It has, to be fair, and I think we've sort of you brought this up, Dave, as an award, but we've had basically every week we've had a Bellend of the Week award, Dave. So as we go into it, I think we should do a joint Bellends of the Week, actually, for different reasons, if that's okay this week. Or my suggestion would be Georgia H and Anton. As a couple, as an entity, they are the Bellends of the Week for me, because Georgia H, as you know, she's come into the show. She doesn't care about Anton. And then now we're at the stage where they're all of a sudden, we're getting to the nitty gritty. So she's had to make a move. He's there. And they've just got everything wrong for me this last week. I mean, obviously, Josh apparently is a best friend, you know, greatest friend ever. I'd never really seen that. I know they've been on other shows and they know each other. And it's that incestuous thing of this Love Island reality TV world that they all know each other. They've all dated each other. They've got to date each other, because if you walk on shows like X on the Beach, it's got to be like, we went to a fucking opening of a crisp packet. Oh yeah, they were filmed. There was a picture of them together. Oh yeah, they were a couple. They went dating a couple of times. They didn't. We know it's all PR stuff. We know it's all talent agency driven and agency driven. But this week, them two have got on my fucking nerves. I mean, Georgia doesn't like him. She's not into him, but she's got to stay with him for the duration of the show because there's a financial gain. The more time you're on the show, the more drama it brings. It was Georgia S last week. She did take a bit of a back seat this week, to be fair, which I was glad about. And it was Georgia H's time to shine. And I don't know, Dave, this is not the platform for her. It's all bullshit. I don't believe Anton either. I think like he's a good guy. He's with her. He's backing her. I respect the fact that he's backing her, but she's just not into him. And that thing when he got the fucking round the fire pit, fuck me, I couldn't have curled my toes anymore, Dave. I went from a size 9 to like a size 2. My fucking toes had just curled. It was cringe as fuck, wasn't it? It was just so. Anyway, I've ranted a little bit, but yeah, they're my Bellends of the week together as a couple. Absolute pair of dicks this week.
Yeah, they have had a proper journey this week, haven't they? And Josh has been getting more and more irate, I think. I mean, I don't particularly like him either, to be honest, Chris, but he is the sort of person, he's the sort of person, right, who says something offensive and it's like, oh, I'm just speaking my truth, or something that, you know, what's up with you, lad? So I don't know. I don't particularly like him, but I kind of feel like he's an entertaining blunt instrument that we need right now to just create a bit of this kind of drama. I mean, a lot of that was, coming out of that game, wasn't it, where they had to guess the awards, where do you stand on the podium, 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. Again, I just fucking Georgia stealing fucking Tobes, doing my fucking head. We are not standing in number 1. Yeah, but you're going to be there. Yeah. Oh, we've had pelters today. Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. You literally are going to be there, and you know it. But anyway, so yeah. The whole, I mean, it's not really a triangle, is it? But putting Josh in there with Anton and Georgia H as well, it has made it interesting, and it was really cringy. Now, I can't figure out how much Anton is putting it on, or has he just got a blind spot? Because when he talks, Georgia H looks like she's fucking sucking a lemon or something. She's sort of visibly a bit irritated by him. She said originally she got the ick, by Anton, and then she got over that because reasons. So nothing really happened other than staying on the show. So I just don't feel like she's got that. She doesn't. In every interaction, she just doesn't seem that into him. Whereas we saw her earlier in the season, she was into other people. So I just don't get it. But I can't. For me, I'm kind of crediting Anton with a bit of just having a blind spot to it. I don't know if he's 100% putting it on, because when they had that argument. That was the last thing we saw of the week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And to me, that came across like he's he's invested so much into this. He's called people out in the villa, for daring to question their relationship. And, they do have something special together. And he's defended Georgia H at every opportunity. And yet she's basically said, oh, he's so offensive. And not only that, if you don't think you say things that are offensive, you're on a different level, mate. You are on a different level of offensive. And I'm watching it thinking, really? Anton's on a different level of offensive? All he's done is fucking defend and defend and defend. And you can see that. I can kind of empathize with this kind of position myself, where it's like, hang about, that's not fucking right. That's so far from the truth. So I don't think he would get that pissed off. But what I think we saw after that, which is why I think Georgia in particular is deserving a Bellend of the week, is it's gaslighting into overdrive then, isn't it? It's really ramping up that gaslighting, making him feel like he's just a bit crazy. But also, when people are asking about it, Anton's just being grumpy. So misrepresenting what's happened to everyone else and just like, Anton's got he's a bit of a mardass at the minute, isn't he? So, everyone else just thinks, fucking Anton's being a bit grumpy. So I thought it was quite some nasty, toxic behavior to see in that certainly the final scene, whereas earlier in the week it was just up and down, wasn't it? And honestly, by the end of it, I'm fucking bored of the Josh Georgia thing. Oh yeah, we're best mates, blah blah, fucking blah. But I am intrigued where it's going to go now, because I don't know. Is Anton just going to capitulate and get over it? Are they going to do the old fucking meditation? It's namaste, and oh yeah, I've only got a few days left. Let's put it to bed for now. I don't know, but yeah, I agree with your nominations there, Chris.
Oh, 100%. And I think with Georgia, Dave, the ITV have got to have a duty of care at the end of this, because she's someone who's done reality TV. She's done different things. The problem is you've got to stay on these shows, don't they? They all have to stay on these shows. They all have to be relevant for the cameras, I said before. But like the stuff with Josh, like you said, was bollocks. But I do feel with her that maybe she's got imposter syndrome. Maybe she doesn't feel that she can be with someone who treats her like Anton does. I don't know, Dave, but it was a massive turnaround for her then all of a sudden to be with Anton, and maybe people speaking to her, because we don't see all the conversations, saying like he's a good guy. I don't know. But when I'll give Josh his due though, Dave, when they got him around the fire pit, I think they thought that fucking nobody would speak up, and Josh went, "Don't need to do this to single me out, mate." And he was right. It's like, you don't do that sort of thing. And what made me laugh is when they did get everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? They thought like Maya Jama was coming in or something, didn't they? And they did this like teachers telling the kids off in detention thing. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I sat here? But I do think Sophie, she's not she speaks like this. I think she's got some steel behind her, Dave. I think she has a few moments where there's the little bit of her, and I think it was Jess. There was a couple of little comments there that they're not all this like they make themselves to be dead. Like, not, she's a nice girl and she's always smiling, which is good to see. But I think she's got a bit of steel behind her where she won't stand for it. And I think in some respects that it was a little bit on the line this week. Well, she will back Josh, and she was like, no, I'm not fucking having it. Are they still going on about that? But the problem is Georgia H with Georgia S, and you've got the veterans of these shows, and you've got other people there. Josh has done these shows, so they're going to try and force an argument, even if there's not one there. But we know full well, Dave, in a couple of months, me and Anton have decided to stay friends. Basically all the fucking deals have dried up that you were probably getting. That's the end. But it dominated the whole week, didn't it? It was a relationship that is not going to work on the outside. Even geographically, it's not going to work. None of them have really worked, because it means that she mentioned I might have to move up to Scotland, and it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So
okay, Pinocchio.
yeah. I'm just like, whatever. So she's a very, very complex character. And it's very interesting having her on the show, but she's just not done herself any favours the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, for me, them two just Bellends of the week. And, I don't want to harp on about it. But, Dave, I will say, she did do the classic thing, like she did say. The last thing I'll say is, the old crystal. We talked about last week with Anton. Yeah, when you've got the crystal, you speak. So they're talking. So she tells Josh it's a two-way conversation, this. But every time Josh tried to speak, she just fucking talked over him. But then as soon as he tried to come back with something, when she was talking, it's a two-way conversation, it's just let me speak. And so he did, and he stopped. But then as soon as he started speaking, she fucking went at him. And I'm like, I don't think, Georgie, you understand. Don't bring the crystal out, because that didn't work last week, and this isn't work. So I was pissing myself at that, because I'm thinking, I'm a bit like that, Dave. I'll say like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll let you speak. And then I'm like, I need to speak. So I'm sort of analysing myself, watching it, laughing. But yeah, that wasn't how a two-way conversation goes, Georgia.
No. I think we have to be mindful, don't we? We're watching an edited show, but the fact is we came to the conclusion that, Georgia just really isn't into Anton at all before we saw the Islanders start to talk about it. Yeah. It's just funny. You don't you do see occasionally where, well, or every season, I think, someone will get called out for being fake, and it's like, oh, this person here is just here for the social media followers. Shock, fucking horror. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? I mean, I'm not. Are you? No, I'm not. Fucking bullshit, you all are. But someone will get called out. But yeah, so to see them basically repeat what the conclusions that we already had, about, she's not really into him. And to be honest, right, she might even think that she is, but for me, it's the grimacing when Anton speaks. When Anton speaks, she's like, it's like he's fucking farted or something. It's like, oh God, what's he fucking saying now? So. Yeah. It's that, and I just don't see any kind of real chemistry between them. And like I say, sometimes you can be too close to it. I am going to give Anton a bit of a pass for right now, that he's just too close to it and he can't see it himself. Or maybe it's a me and you versus the world type thing where, the more people doubt it, the more they kind of want to buckle down. But I don't know. I agree. The whole crystal thing. It's like, right, I'm going to have the crystal. I'm going to say, and no, you can't say anything. You have the crystal, which means you can speak and I can speak. That's definitely it's the fucking hypocrisy of it all. It's just so frustrating. But Chris, one of the other things, obviously, we saw was the video calls with friends and family and stuff, and I felt like the most interesting thing that came out of that was the whole Callum and Molly thing. Everyone's kind of thinking that they're going to get back together, and then Tom's in the corner sulking about it. And so it did, at least for an episode, it created a bit of drama there. And we'd obviously speculated about that right at the start. We'd said, I think we said it was probably that was the script. That was what was designed to sort of happen. But it does seem like, they in a very, I would say, atypical way, it does seem like they're just good mates now. But, I mean, what do you reckon of that whole situation?
Well, I look, Dave, I think Tom and Molly have got no fucking chemistry whatsoever. Callum and Molly been together 3 years. Dog, they were looking at houses. They're obviously very serious as a couple. There's going to be something there, something that Tom hasn't experienced with Molly, and over time he maybe will. Don't believe that's going to happen, Dave, but let's just go with it for the purpose of the show. Tom has got no fucking chat. He's got no personality. And it's like, Molly, why are you wasting your time? He's a good-looking lad, without a doubt. I do think he's got Robbie Rotten face off Lazy Town. It just makes me laugh when I see him. He's so chiseled. He looks like a cartoon character now, like contouring. That's not a slagging him off, because he's a fucking miles better looking guy than I am, but he just looks too, his face just looks too, it's like someone's drew it, it's just very bizarre. But there's just nothing between them. And these, I think you mentioned it last week, there's about 5 or 6 years between them. Like, he's younger than Molly. She's at a stage in life where she wants to sort of progress to, family and whatever, mortgage, everything, and yes, the Callum heart rate thing, we knew that was going to happen. Molly got Callum's heart rate and vice versa. That's fine. We can live with that. But then it was when like you say, the families were saying about it, and then it went round the fucking villa, didn't it? And he was fuming. I'm like, but Tom, they were together, mate. What? You can't compete with that at the moment. Yeah. They've only been split up. Don't be offended. She's picked you, and her and Callum speak together. It's not like they're flirting. I saw this online, actually. When Tom's talking to like Georgia H and that, he's still flirting with her, even though he's with Molly. But Callum and Molly aren't. They're talking like two adults. They're just talking like, we want to be friends. He wants the best for her. He's smiling. It's not like they're panning the camera onto him when she's with Tom doing things. He's actually genuinely happy, and she's happy for him. Maybe there is something there. We can all see it. That would be the fairy tale, but it's gone too far. And the conversations, we've got 2 episodes left. The conversations have been purely platonic. And honestly, Tom is a fucking wet lettuce for me, Dave. He's just absolutely does my head in. He fucking does. He's just boring. He's a bachelor. He lives with Casey. I'm going to say he's going to cheat. I don't know that. I've done that before on this podcast and got called out.
Got called out for it.
Yeah, single town. But
cheating all around the place.
Yeah, cheating all around the place. What have you heard? What have you heard? Well, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was a brilliant DM I got that time, Dave. But I would say that it's just not the type to be with her. He's been on all sorts of shows. He was it Love Island Australia he went straight onto after he'd done the UK one last year and that. He went straight in. I'm sure Tom went on to Love Island Australia, you know, as a contestant.
I know like Callum went straight from Love Island Australia to, is it Love Island Games or something?
No, I'm sure Tom did, you know, Dave, as a bombshell.
Tom did?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He turned up as a bombshell on he was literally in a relationship on the UK one, and then within about 2 weeks, he went straight. I'm sure he did. Remember when we did them back to back and you hated my guts because we did them for like 6 months?
Remember it well.
It sounded a bit like when Anton speaks to Georgia then, Dave. I felt the eyes rolling through the screen. But yeah, I'm sure he did. But yeah, he's just a fucking chancer, and he's a ex-professional footballer. He's a blagger. Molly is just not. She's just doing it to stay in the show. But I don't know. There's nothing there between them. I'm not believing they're going to stay together longer than a couple of months, if anything. Just absolute bollocks for me.
So, I mean, I just had to have a quick Google, Chris, and I'm looking at it. I can't see. It just says he was on the 9th season of Love Island. And then it says in January 2024, he's on Love Island All Stars. So I don't think he was in something else. But I don't know. It's weird career choices, right? So he's in, I mean, it's not too far from you, is it? I'm looking at his career stats here, and he's played for all these, you know, various clubs and whatever. Some I've never heard of. But he had 47 appearances for Macclesfield in between 2021 and 2023. He scored 27 goals at 47 appearances.
That's unbelievable.
That is a fucking great rate. I mean, you are properly talking. If you were at the top level, if you were at the Premier League, I mean, you would be the most sought after striker at those kind of stats. You know, you say your top strikers score 1 goal every 2 games, and he's got, you know, over that. So a great kind of, and he's 24 now, and he's given up the football to be a reality star by the looks of it.
Yeah. Why? You know what I mean?
Bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre. Why would you do that? He is a talented kid, isn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like Michael Owen, though, he's fucking boring.
Well, yeah.
So proper. He's his football, but, you know, he has got no chat. He does very well because he is a beautiful man. You do have to say, even if you think he looks like Robbie Rotten. But, you know, he is a beautiful bloke. But, I mean, fucking hell, it is a surprise to me. I mean, him and Molly kind of look great together, but I don't know. I just don't see that working long term at all. And just finishing up on sort of Callum and Molly, I do feel like Molly does still have those feelings. You know, she says the words, you know, she's with Tom now, and, you know, the stuff with Callum, that's never going to happen. But I think she's saying that because she knows for Callum it is a closed door. And I think Callum has definitely fucking moved on. And, you know, when good things happen for Molly, you see Callum is genuinely happy. Now, how many times have we seen it on other seasons where you get that fucking, you know, that little scowl in the corner from someone's ex or whatever? But you don't see that from Callum at all. So I definitely think for him, the door is closed. But I do think that whether she says it or not, I do feel like Molly does hold out that tiny bit of hope. You know, she's like Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber, so you're saying there's a chance. But yeah, not for this season. I mean, it's too late now, the whole reconciliation thing. But, you know, when everyone goes their different ways, Molly and Callum go back to Manchester, it wouldn't be the greatest shock if they kind of reconcile there. Callum just has to stop shagging people, though.
Yeah.
He needs to stop with his 16 or whatever, you know, when he's got a few months off. But yeah, so interesting. Again, didn't really call that one right, you know. how it would go, but can't get them all right, Chris.
No, and I think as well, Dave, you're saying about like cheating and stuff, Dave, or not cheating or sleeping with, but our Tobes, Dave, big speech at the start of the week. I'm not into cheat. I got cheated on. We get the tears, everything. And I'm not saying that's genuine. He didn't name names. Everyone was suggesting, was it Chloe? He was with Chloe Burrows.
I mean, that's got to be the.
It's got to be
where everyone's going, isn't it?
Everyone's going. But then Chloe was on a podcast, Dave, and she was pretty much pissing herself laughing. And I think Toby's line of where cheating was there's a tightrope, Dave, that he's walking there. I think from what she said, anyway, two sides to every story. We weren't there. I'm presuming it's her. It was a hell of a thing for him to say, and really he was passionate about it. So maybe he was cheated on. We don't know, but I don't think that's the full picture from what Chloe said, Dave. Everyone's got their own story. Usually in the middle is where the truth is. So yeah, really interesting that to play out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't believe a fucking word that he was sort of talking about, to be honest. I was just like, I thought he was properly putting on the Oscar-winning performance there, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. I've seen enough of you now. And there is something, I think he won me over a little bit because he was just kind of funny how flaky he was. But, having seen him replay the exact same script, I'm just like, you're a bit of a bellend, and you spout these fucking cliche phrases to just basically do what you want. Well, you know what? You're not a fucking 6-year-old kid. You do have to take other people's sort of feelings and where they're coming from, at least into consideration, even if you kind of do what you want. But it's just a fucking bellend for me. And I just felt like when he was giving it the old cheating thing, it's like, are you fucking serious? No chance. So yeah, I mean, them two were close for Bell End of the week, but I think I've probably given it them a couple of times before. But yeah, it's just something really grating about the pair of them, individually and separately as well.
Well, you know what, Dave? It's interesting, and I agree completely with you. We'd watched the recap of the like the unseen bits. And it's fucking night and day. Even Tom, who I've slated before, has got a personality. Toby's following Adam round because he loves wrestling. They're doing fake wrestling matches. He's throwing Toby all over the place, doing suplexes. He learns how to do a suplex on him and everything, Dave. And everyone's watching. They're pissing about and they're playing all the games. And like, you get like the girls fucking, there's one bit, Dave, actually was quite funny, but the girls are there ready to take a picture and Arabella fucking drops one and Molly and fucking Dingy leg it off. That's disgusting. They're like legging it. And she's laughing at Arabella. And then Molly's burping all the time, just normal stuff that people would do and being like silly. And and honestly, the unseen bits for anyone who, you follow the stories that were shown on the show. And if you ever wanted to realize when we call out the producers, watch the unseen bits, because everyone comes across, even Toby and that comes across pretty well. They're all pissing about, playing games. They're doing egg and spoon race, Dave, and all that sort of thing, like sports day games and stuff. But we don't see any of that on the proper show. We get the odd little game, but most of it's just the stories, the together, and all that. And honestly, I'm not even want to watch another hour of these fucking tosspots, but just as if you ever wanted a bit of context of how we as the audience are manipulated into believing about these fake stories and fake shows, and how some personalities are so fucking boring. And when you do see it, we said it loads of times, you go, I've had a bad edit. Well, in some respects, watching the unseen bits, they have had a bad edit because it's just night and day. Honestly, Dave, I can't explain watching that show. It's so enjoyable to watch. You wouldn't think it was just. It's like when you watch a movie and for example, like the filming Daredevil at the moment, Vincent D'Onofrio's playing Kingpin and you've got Charlie Cox who's dead, Deadpool, fucking not, he's Daredevil, Matt Murdock. But, in that show, you believe they hate each other, they despise each other. But then you'll get pictures behind the scenes of them sat together having a meal, at family dues or whatever, they're all good friends. It's like that, where the people we're supposed to believe don't like each other. But then when you watch the unseen bits, they're all mates. And it also, for me, that's where I watch it and I'm like, they're all just playing fucking even more characters than what we think, because everyone seems to get on really well until they go, right, we need Toby and we need Josh and we need Georgia there, Georgia H or whatever. And we need, Toby, Georgia H and Anton with Josh. You need to have an argument now. action. And honestly, it's so bizarre, Dave. It really is watching that Unseen Bits. You wouldn't think it was the same show. That's what I'm getting at. It's really great TV, but unusual as well.
So are you suggesting there, if I watch that, I won't think Tom is incredibly boring and dull?
No, because maybe you will. Maybe I'm overstretching. But what I mean is, you would get an understanding of people's personalities and how we are manipulated as the audience into believing that this friction is going on 24/7, because it's simply not.
No, I agree. And it's like anyone. I mean, Christ, if you put anyone into a confined space for any period of time, you're going to have ups and downs, aren't you? So if you're only, I guess, presenting the downs, it's going to look like fucking EastEnders or something. It's going to be pretty grim. So, but they do. I think they stick to the storyline. The things that are going on there with the relationships, and then all the fun things, which they kind of have to have, even just for mental health, don't they? You can't. As much as, the idea of fucking sitting by the pool and having the occasional dip for 6 weeks, it doesn't seem that bad. You must get bored after a while. So I think they kind of have to put those games on and stuff just to keep people fucking sane.
Yeah, I do. And I will say, Dave, if you get a chance, watch a little bit of the Unseen Bits just to understand, or anyone listening, if you've never seen it, it is night and day. Night and day. But then you watch it 7 days a week. But there you go. I can feel that your eyes now are like, no, you can go fuck off.
And After Sun and all the other things. I'm not doing that. I know people do though. But it's not for me. Trying to finish off this fucking season so we can start maths, which is apparently great. Yeah,
which is coming. Maths is next. The next episode will be maths. We'll do a little 2-3 minute wrap up of Love Island.
We'll have to wrap up, won't we? Even if it's like 10 minutes or something, we'll wrap up Love Island.
We'll wrap it up this week, and then we'll go straight into maths. We are catching up, people. We'll do it week by week, Dave, on maths like we normally do. So we'll catch up then. Yeah. Cool. Right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for indulging us, listening as always.
So, hold on. Are you not forgetting someone? You've sort of mentioned you talked about Adam. But Adam and Arabella, obviously, they made it into the Hideaway as well, and possibly the greatest memers. I don't post that much these days, do we, on Twitter or X? But scrolling through and just laughing at some of the memes, probably one of the greatest ones was, the picture of Homer Simpson where he's got the full wedding gear on.
Yeah,
it's like Arabella whenever there's a bombshell coming in. She just there's something so tremendously fake about how she goes into full flirt with anyone. But it seems to be good, at the moment with Adam. But I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And we always take the piss out of the blokes when they go in the Hideaway that they don't get dressed up. Well, Adam gets the old wrestling budgie smugglers on, doesn't he? And again, part of Arabella's act, if you like, is to be that. What's the phrase? It's like pixie dream girl or something like that. Just trying to say all the right things and just it's all so much fun, isn't it? And when she said, I love play fighting, me. I just love it. I love play fighting. Adam drops into fucking wrestling horse riding stance and goes to fucking tackle her, and she's like shitting herself. It's like, no, I didn't actually mean that, and he's fucking doing the old play fighting and stuff. I thought for many, many reasons that was fucking hilarious. Now, I do think that there is a little bit of something with them too, but yeah, I think there's so many things going on with the different acts and stuff from Arabella, quite honestly. And Adam seems like a nice guy, but it's been fun to watch that couple, I think, this week.
To be fair, you're right. He fucking body slamming her. I don't think that's the sort of slamming that she wanted, but he ended up fucking body slamming her and fucking suplexing her and everything. And she's like, and I was like, well, this. I went outside, going, oh my god, they're having a great time in there. He's like, no, he's reenacting
flirting when you're 10 years old.
Yeah, pinching her hair or pinching him and running off or punching him or what? Not punching him, but you know what I mean, like. Anyway, let's not talk about punching people.
Give her a dead arm, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I'll give me a dead arm. So no, yeah, I forgot about that.
That was fucking hilarious. You know, when I was courting Sam, give her a good punch.
yeah. Anyway, then let's move fucking quickly on.
I just love when I can hear the cogwheels turning in your head when you just said something. I can hear it. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds wrong.
Right, anyway, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. As always, please go up to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Come and join us over there, guys. If you don't support us, get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So the roll call of honour, and a big thank you to Sinead, Jesse, Kathleen, Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Maggie, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much for your support, guys. And we will wrap up Love Island this week, and then we're going straight into Mass. So you may get a double episodes this week. So enjoy, and we really enjoy you sticking around with us through this show. Great stuff.
That's awesome, mate. Cheers for the laugh right at the end there. It's going to tickle me for the next hour or so. But thank you very much, sir. It's been great, hasn't it? You know, it is a bit hard going at times. And I've got to say, for me, it did drop off a little bit. You know, we're into the, oh, Christ, can you imagine if we get the baby game? But, when you get past most of the drama, it gets a bit dull, doesn't it? But I'm hoping there's still a little bit left that we can squeeze out of this season. But thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.